Yo, we talking about groceries on FBA. Yo, easy. Yeah. J to the O, the Mayos. Groceries on FBA. What you know about that? Step your game up, sucker.
First meeting of the year, so there should be lots of questions. We do have a webinar coming up in a couple days, maybe Wednesday, Valerie, with our friends over at TaxJar. So, they're really the only, game in town, in my opinion, for collecting your sales taxes. Obviously, you don't want to look at every single sale that you do, which is your only other option, to see how much sales taxes it's in and compute what county and what state each one goes to, so you can pay those sales taxes. So, in my opinion, it's really, there are some other options I think out there, but I've been using TaxJar for, probably this is the 5th year that we've been using it, and they automate everything. If you haven't used it yet, I believe they have a 30-day trial. But they'll give you all the information in there. And mostly, the webinars we get people to do, they're not going to be there, to sell their product. You already know what the best products are. You know what products we use. Everybody has a free trial, so you try the stuff out anyway. So we're not doing webinars to sell you. Like most companies, you'll see, when they say a free webinar, it's going to be to sell you on their product, and they're going to give you 5 minutes of information, and 20 minutes they're going to talk about why you need their product, and the rest of the time they're going to be pushing to sign you up for it. But the people we get are basically going to help you and inform you about we're going to talk about sales taxes, how it all works, how it works with Amazon, and of course there will be a little bit about how they integrate with it. But unless you either have a team that's going to do that, or you want to do all that work yourself, which Amazon doesn't really have a whole lot of reports that show where each individual sale breaks down for. So they automatically pull those reports through the API for each item, and it's going to tell you how much you collected in sales tax from that state. It's going to tell you exactly what to put on every single line when you submit your report, and it's going to just and then you can just go over to each site. I'm in Florida. I'm registered in Florida, registered in Tennessee, Pennsylvania, and a few others. So when we fill that out, which I have it set for the automatic reports now, but and we'll get to that in a minute. But what's going to happen is they're going to tell you what to put in each line of the report. You're going to go over there. You're going to file your taxes however quickly they told you had to do it. Some people are on monthly, some are on quarterly, depending on what your sales were and what you put your expectations to be. So the one option is they're going to tell you exactly. They're going to send you a reminder, say, hey, it's time to file your taxes, and you're going to go over there, fill out the forms with the exact numbers that they give you. Or most states now have automated filing, which means you're going to log in, through them to the account, just like you set up your APIs, for things like tactical arbitrage and scan power, whatever you're using, to show you what, to connect those tools right to Amazon. So they're going to do that. They're going to do it with Amazon. They're going to do it with the companies that or the states that allow you to do the automated sales tax. And then they're automatically going to submit those forms for you every month or quarterly. And I believe usually it's about $19.95 per state. So what I recommend, and they may not tell you the same thing because, they're in the business of, getting you to register as many states as they can, so you can pay tax on as many places as you can, which means they'll make more money. So, my idea is that, you should register in your own state first. Of course, everybody has sales tax liabilities in your state, but And then you need to decide if you have nexus in other states, and if you do, you need to register in them. And I don't suggest you go out and register in all 50 states or even the states you think you have nexus in. What our recommendation has been, and for the foreseeable future, what it's going to be, is you should register in your own state first, obviously, and then you do one state at a time. So what we did was we looked and seen where we thought we had the most amount of nexus in, which is probably where you're going to be sending most of your product to. So if it's Tennessee or wherever those locations are, then you're going to have the most amount of nexus there. Now, what we did in the beginning was we decided that we're going to see where the most amount of sales are, because we're going to owe the most amount of money there. So it makes more sense that we should be registering there so that state can get their taxes. So that's what we did. Florida actually was the most, where we had the most amount of our sales. So we're in Florida, but we just happen to have a lot of customers also in Florida. So we registered, of course, in Florida, and then we moved on to some other states, Tennessee, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. So we still have 6 or 7. So what we did at that point was we did one at a time. And I don't want people to get confused by this. There's a ton of things. Every state has different ideas of what they call sales tax, but they have nexus in. So you register in your own state, then you go and register in another state. And once you get registered, get your numbers, get it all set up and working with Amazon and integrated into TaxStar, then you work on the next state. If you decide that that's something you want to do. There's also a great book on that. Find it. Which is a very, very reasonable book. It's called Introduction to Sales Tax for Amazon FBA Sellers, written by Kat Simpson and Michael Rice, which is an accountant he's a very big accountant, has his own firm. Kat Simpson's an Amazon seller, and you don't see a whole lot from her much anymore, but she's been selling and had online businesses since 1997. And she does do a lot on eBay, but also a lot on Amazon. So, they put this book together, and, the strange thing about sales tax is different states call it different things. So some states have a reseller's permit. Some states have a, what they call a sales tax ID number. So even when I explain it to people, it's kind of hard to explain what you even need. But at the time of the book, and I believe it's been updated a few times, I bought this the day it was released. I know it's been updated, actually, this current as of July 1st, 2012. I have the first printing from 2012. I know they've updated it a few times, so there's probably going to be more states. But where they said that there would be nexus is the states that are included in here. So it's going to tell you about what they think about nexus, about how to register with the Department of Revenue for your own states, and as well as the IRS, which is something completely different. So you pay sales tax to the individual states. You're going to pay your income tax to the IRS. So they're two completely different things. And what people don't understand is, if people say, if I didn't pay sales tax, then, or if I didn't collect sales tax, then I'm going to owe all this money. That's not how it works. You're collecting money on behalf of the government. Now, you can get fines for not doing it if they can prove that you had nexus in that state. And, that's just a big gray area right now. So what this book does is tell you what they think nexus is. They tell you how to register with Department of Revenue, to register with the Internal Revenue Service. And like I was saying, you're collecting money on behalf of a state. So I'm in Florida. I get a sale in Florida. I collect sales tax on behalf of the state of Florida and submit it to them. If I didn't collect sales tax, nobody paid it to me, that doesn't mean I now owe that money to the government because I didn't collect it. It's not, you didn't collect sales tax and now you're liable for that 6% or 7 or 9.5% or whatever the state laws have. So you really need to, you need to understand that you're not going to owe, a ton. You're going to show what you've collected and prove that you didn't collect it, and you're not going to owe that. But what you can owe is fine. So, that's two different things. So what this book does is it shows you how to register in all these states. It shows you samples. Like if you're in Kansas, they're selling in Kansas, it shows you the application. It shows you what to fill out. It tells you how to fill out every single line. There's notes. I don't know how easy it is to see here, but you can see here, over here, there's notes for all the lines showing you how to fill it out, And this is for each individual state. I mean, that was Kansas, here's Kentucky. So this is a great book. It's not very expensive. I mean, it wasn't like a $50 book. It's a very reasonable book, reasonably priced. It's going to show you about exemptions and, auditing, and then all the different states and Nexus and all that good stuff. So this is a great book, and we'll put the link in the chat to this book. And it's also listed, the books that we suggest. If you log into the Mastermind site, SeanMail.com, under, I believe it's under the hardware software we suggest, and you can see that. And I believe it's in there, but I will post the link up right here. Sales tax. And I know there's a ton of questions, but I do want to talk about, I do want to get through this. And Wednesday, we're going to have Tax Jar on. I like to get the companies, or either the companies or the people that are experts on these things to come in and, of course, talk to us about all that. And there's no better time to do this than the beginning of the year. So, okay, so here's the link. Now I know there was quite a few questions, so if you have anything on sales tax, you might want to wait to save that till they're on here. They can help us out with that. Also, I want to talk about, and if anybody has any questions on that, we're at the beginning of a brand new year, as I said, so this is our first meeting of the year, and we do have a lot of new members that joined and people who upgraded to the yearly plans, which was great. There's a great discount, and there's a lot of great tax implications for those of you who did it before the end of the year. Of course, you don't have to worry about yearly billing, and you get a discount, of course. So, yeah, that was that was awesome. I appreciate everybody's trust and belief in what we're trying to do for everyone. So I just wanted to comment on that. And moving forward, we're really trying to hire a lot more people, hire distance employees. We've been talking to Free Up about getting a lot more people, but wherever you hire people, the way we started out, which I think is a great way, a lot of people it doesn't work out for. You have to be in the right situation, but hiring your own family worked out amazingly well. My brother still works for me. My wife and I work together in the business, and my family, when they were able, my mother and my mother would help me, and my father would pack boxes, when they were able, and it worked out very well for everybody. A lot of people have, family and children and other family members helping out. So, if that's something that you're able to do, great. But there's a ton of jobs that you can hire, remote employees, distant employees, VAs, whatever you want to call them. But now's a great time. I mean, we're talking $5-6 an hour, to replace things that, doing research. If you're doing wholesale, to, go out and set up those wholesale accounts. You give them the information. It's the same thing over and over. It's repetition with wholesale. You're setting up an account, requesting the information, processing that stuff, running through tactical arbitrage or wherever you need to run it through. And, than going through the results and finding the best product. So, if you can automate that by paying somebody $5 an hour, you got to think, where is your time best spent? My time is best spent, of course, helping other people because that's what I choose to do, but to grow my business. And the best way for us to grow our business is by hiring people to do those minimum wage jobs that you don't want to do. So if you're still packing boxes, if you're taping boxes, if you're listing and putting labels on stuff, then you really should consider hiring somebody else to do that. Obviously, those aren't the kind of jobs you can hire a VA to do, but you can hire local people if you're doing that, or of course, be sending your products to a prep center. I mean, we have a warehouse, but you should, if you don't have a warehouse, you should definitely be making use of those prep centers. And if you don't know of one, Valerie can point you in the direction of the ones that we like to work with. But there's probably 100 or more that works with Amazon FBA now. So, we can tell you who we like, who we've dealt with, but in the end, you can, of course, use whoever you like, and they all basically do the same job. If they don't do a good job, then they don't stay in business very long. And everything for your Amazon business, if you're listing on eBay or Amazon, editing pictures and creating listings and, opening cases and dealing with negative feedback and all that stuff, all your emails and messages and promotions, that can all be hired by someone that you can do the one thing that you need to do for your business, and that is work on growing your business. And if anybody wants to, check into Free Up, I've talked about them before. We've had them on for webinars. The guy's a good friend of mine, and what they can do is they have pre-trained employees. They're not trained to use like tactical arbitrage or like OA X-ray, things like that, but they have people who are trained for accounting and of course dealing with Amazon and opening cases and any other software you probably need. They're going to be able to deal with even product sourcing. So if you need people for product sourcing, they may, they'll have experience doing not necessarily product sourcing for Amazon, but, dealing with comparing products between different websites and, browsing and searching websites and things like that for you. So, you're going to have all of those skills already done for you. And if they don't work out any training time, he's going to pay that training time for your replacement. So, if you want to try them out, just go to freeup.seanmayo.com. You can set up a free account and, try them out. I mean, I love those guys. I don't go to Upwork or any of that anymore because they just have a better quality of employees. And, sometimes it costs maybe $1 or $2 more. Sometimes it doesn't. They say they have employees from $5 to $50. I don't have any $50 employees, but I do have some that are $20, $30 that are doing, working in Xero and doing the higher level accounting stuff. And I do have $5 employees. The very best VA distance employee, the remote employee that I've ever had came from them, and then I pay them $6 an hour. And they're worth every penny. They do a better job than most Americans I could have hired. So Valerie, do you have? I've seen a lot of questions. Do you have some questions that we can go over?
Yeah, we'll just start from the top if you're good.
Right.
So the first question was, when you're no longer going to sell on a listing, should you close it or delete it?
Oh, that's a great question. Now, if you're no longer going to sell on a listing, don't just close it, because closing it would just basically suspend any products that you currently had for sale on it. Obviously, you're not going to do that. You want to delete it, and then it's still going to be there as if anything else came into it, like a return or a sale, it would just be marked as unfulfillable. So after you delete it, refresh it, and then go back in there and then archive it. So what that's going to do is that's going to delete it out of your current selling product. So if there's a recall or it gets gated or people, start saying that other sellers were selling counterfeits or anything, that's going to all go against your account. You're going to be marked as selling a recalled product, or, and it's happened to me. It's happened to other people. When we got suspended several years ago, I had 13,000 products, and I was told to do this. I had never thought about that, and the professionals that I hired, told me some things that I should do, and I had never done that. And I had 13,000 SKUs that were not archived or deleted. So always do that, and that's the reasons why. No other reason, not because, to make your account look clean. That doesn't matter. We got 2,000 active SKUs now. That stuff just blended in with everything else. But you need to delete and then go back and archive them so you don't get those marks against your record.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right, can you cover the process guideline for supplements further to a recent email that all supplements have to have the ingredients? He doesn't do private label, only reselling, and he needs more clarification on what to do for the Amazon.
Right, that just meant that they have to have the ingredients list listed on the product, and if it's not in the listing, then it has to be added to the listing. So if you're just reselling stuff, you're buying stuff. Now you have to be careful. If you're already selling supplements, they recently gated the supplement category, and so it's like a subcategory gating, and they're charging $3,000 to apply to get ungated in that. So if you already sold, something just fell from nowhere. Okay. If you were already selling that, you could have been grandfathered in. But for those of you who try and sell supplements now, you're going to see that it's been gated. So they're charging $3,000 to apply, and then you still have to prove that you can sell it with invoices and all that. So if you're selling it, great. If you're not, then you know that you have to deal with that. Now, if you're in, then all you have to do is make sure that you have the ingredients list. Most of everything has an ingredients list. I'm sure that if other people are selling it, then that stuff's going to be in there. I would just look at the listings and, verify that information is in there. All you basically have to do is update that listing and make sure that it's on the actual labels. So, I'm assuming that they had a problem with some products not having the ingredients listed. And I have seen supplements that didn't have ingredients listed. A lot of the stuff is supposed to be top secret ingredients. I would never take stuff that I didn't know what was in it, but that's all there is to it. A lot of those things are to cover very small subsections of issues that and people take it way overboard. But that's all that's going on, is that just like food, they want to know what the ingredients are, and they want to be able to convey that to the customer. And if you've ever looked at our restricted list that's on on the Mastermind site, you can see there's thousands of restricted ingredients. So they probably want to make sure that none of the ingredients that they've said are restricted are actually in those products.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
One on that. Okay. How to get more discounted Nike gift cards. He wants to source more Nike for retail arbitrage at Nike stores, but
right. I don't know how much you're looking to spend, but you can contact Nike directly, and I believe they'll give you a 10. I think it's 15%, but I think you have to spend $100,000 on gift cards. So, I mean, you might be able to go in on some other people. I know some other masterminds have, gone in together and gotten those. I just wanted to see what our, as far as Nike, what kind of discount they're currently doing. And especially for retail, you're not going to be able to use any cashback sites. So Nike currently is about 4% cashback on gift card wiki. And
That's fine.
And let's see, on gift card granting, I'm assuming they're all going to be around the same. So they're all about the same. So we're looking at 4 to 5%. The best thing you can do, I would say, is go to a site like Card Bear, which is really my favorite one.
Sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted, and I'm yelling at my kid. It's driving me nuts. Sorry, everybody.
So if you go to Card Bear, and I'll post the link here, which is what we do for anything that we're interested in. Actually, right now, Raise has 6.9%. So it's saying the average discount's actually 6.9%. The highest in recent history. I'll post the link here. But what we do, and we've done this for most sites that we buy from, is we go to, let me post this link in here. So if you go to Card Bear, which is really, as I said, my favorite site for gift cards, it's going to let you do a notification. It'll let you set up an alert. So you basically tell it whatever percentage you want it to be at. So, if you want to be notified at 7 or 20 or 30%, if it ever hits that, they're going to send you an email saying it's there. You just click on the link in your email. Right now it's saying it's in a great spot, which is 6.9%. And you can see historical history all the way back to, it looks like the middle of October of 2014. So you're going to see a graph of all the spikes, and, from around March of, 2016 was the highest point, and that was at about 15%, but it usually never hits that. But right now is a great time to buy any gift cards, because people got all these gift cards for Christmas, and now people got them for places they don't want, they're not going to shop at, and then they sell them so they can get other gift cards or do whatever they want with the money. So now's the time to buy, because everybody's selling them, so for the month or two after Christmas, this is when, everybody does this. So I hope that covers that. Okay. You have another one, Valerie?
Yeah, there's more. Someone is looking to outsource 1 or 2 people going to the stores to scan for RA. Any strategy or process that you'd recommend?
Well, I can tell you what we do, and that is that, you get the best bet for us was, either get some family or get some, college kids that you can hire to, pay like $10 an hour and let them go scan in the stores. You tell them where to go. You want them to scan all the toys or, spices or groceries or whatever it is, and let them just go up and down the aisle, scan every single item. What we would do is take screenshots or add them to, I'm not sure what Inventory Lab does, but Scan Power, you can make a buy list, so they can just add them to that buy list. They can put a little note with it, so you know what the buy cost is, what the they can put in the note what the store is, and then you can go back and buy the stuff. I never had people going to the stores to buy. Your best bet's always to let them do that work, and then you go back and you see what the products are that you actually want to buy, and then you can either order them online, or you can just go send one person back to buy all those products. you know, and it works out very well.
All right.
Yeah, Santosh wanted to know about the about FreeUp. Yeah, you can, you know, it's just like any of the other ones. It's like Upwork. You can, you know, I have somebody that does accounting stuff that works maybe 2 hours a week for me. So, you know, and I have people, you know, they're not going to hire somebody full time, because if you only need them for 5 hours or 10 hours or 20 hours, you know, I have somebody working 20 hours, you know, somebody else is going to need them for another job. So they're going to put them to work somewhere else. So, you know, they're going to get their time in. Just because you only use them for 5 hours don't mean you're going to be the only employer. So they're there to fulfill whatever your needs are. And they have a lot of deals going on with, you know, other companies. They got stuff going on with eBay where they can get you, you know, free insertion feeds, free listings, and they got a ton of other stuff. We don't really do eBay. I'm not sure what all the stuff they're doing, but I know they have, they're working directly with eBay. They got a lot of great stuff with them, and, you know, some higher end repricers and other software tools that you could use. So I suggest everybody go sets up a, you know, you get a free account, you talk to Nathan, and, you know, you're going to, you know, go over your goals, tell them what you're interested in doing, tell them what you can afford, tell them what you'd like to do, and, you know, he's going to help you, you know, fulfill whatever your needs are. And if that person don't work, he'll find you somebody else and somebody else. But, you know, we did have one person with him that didn't work out for us, but, you know, every situation is different. Everybody's not going to work together, you know, but he's out there. They're finding good employees. They're testing them. They're making sure they're fluent in English. You don't have to worry about posting ads and doing all this other work for, you know, what, an extra 50 cents or $1 an hour to say, you know, to fill out a little form and say, hey, I need this, or send them a message and say, hey, you know, I need somebody to do this. And 2 minutes later, you know, he's connecting you on Facebook or Skype or whatever it is, email, with somebody who's trained to do that job you need, and you don't have to deal with it. If you don't like him, you work with somebody else. You know, he'll get you somebody else. And, you know, I've never had a job that they said, well, we can't, you know, we don't have anybody that can do that. They have somebody ready all the time for me, and I would assume, you know, for you. So they're constantly training people. They're constantly, you know, outsourcing for the best of the VAs, you know. So you don't have to worry about, you know, 30 people or 200 people filling out, you know, responding to your job postings on sites like Upwork, which, you know, it's really exhausting and time consuming, you know, and your time is worth so much. And that's why I use a company like FreeUp.
There's a couple of questions I think that are referring back.
I want to cover this one from John about returns first, and then we can go over the rest of them. When you have returns, should you have them return back to you instead of putting them back into inventory? You know, that's what we do. I think a negative feedback is never worth that trouble that you're going to go through. So, you know, if you have your items returned back to inventory after, as they say, they check them, but I don't really believe they're checking them that well. They're so busy there that, you know, if somebody tries on a pair of shoes, you know, it doesn't fit, they return them, get the right size. You know, that's one thing, but you don't know. You don't know if people if they ever even open that box. So, you know, I think it's more worthwhile to spend the 50 cents, have it returned, and spend however much it is to send that pair of shoes back in. You know, you lose a week or so, you know, going back and forth, but, you know, isn't it better than getting a negative feedback that you have to deal with, or getting a suspension for, you know, people saying you're selling used products as new, you know, so that's where, you know, where we are. That's how I feel. And, you know, that's what I think is in everybody's best interest, just to send them back, inspect them yourself. You know, if it's worth selling. Now, returns that really aren't worth selling anymore, you know, we donate those to charity. It's just not worth sending back and dealing with. So, Um, let's see. So, yeah, I think everyone, okay, I do not recommend drop shipping. We do not drop ship on Amazon. It's just going to lead to you losing your account. And we'll get back to that in a minute. Pam wanted to know if we pay them for gas or just, I only pay them the hourly rate. I mean, there's a million stores that are local here, so we just, we pay them an hourly rate. You know, you pay them what, you know, you negotiate whatever you think based on trust or, you know, whatever. You know, if they have to drive a long way to get to the stores you want them to go to, then obviously you need to, you know, pay them fairly for that. But we live in such a populated area, you know, probably within 10 minutes, there's, you know, I'd say within 10 miles of me, there's at least 15 Walmarts. So, you know, just as an example. And we have like 3 or 4 Rosses, and, you know, even Kmart's, they're closing like 6 Kmart's, but there's still like 3 of them, you know, within 20 minutes of me. So, you know, there's just a ton of stores here that, you know, the gas is just so negligible. I mean, I never see the people. They, you know, they know what they're supposed to do. They go do it, and I get the stuff submitted, and, you know, and they get paid. So I'm never even talking to them. They, you know, they know the stores they're supposed to go to, or they get assigned them, and they go there, and, you know, I never talk to them. I never see them. We do not let them use our phone, but we do give them a Bluetooth scanner. I mean, they're like $50 for the KDC 200s now. So, yeah, I mean, I got like half a dozen of them. So we just give them, you know, we give them one of them. I mean, if you can't trust somebody with a $50 scanner, then, I mean, you're not hiring the right person. And as for drop shipping, you know, is a horrible, horrible thing for Amazon, I believe. You know, your metrics are so important. And if you're merchant fulfilling, which you have to do for drop shipping, then for one thing, you're never going to have perfect metrics. If they don't ship on time, then that's going to go against your account. If you don't, you know, if they don't have the item, they run out, then, and you don't remove it from your Amazon listing, then, you know, that's going to be a bad strike against your account. And before long, your metrics and your feedback is going to be low, and they're going to suspend your account. Just people doing FBA, everything goes through them, and they ship everything. You know, people are still getting suspended like crazy. So, you know, to me, it's not worth that trouble. Now, if you're going to do it on eBay, sure, or, you know, have your own, you know, Shopify account that you're, you know, that you're promoting yourself, you know, great. Yeah, do that. We're actually setting that up, and hopefully within the next few months, you know, we're testing a lot of things out. So, you know, real soon we hope to be, you know, sharing with the group, you know, our successes and the systems that, you know, we put together for doing drop shipping. So I'm okay with drop shipping, just not on Amazon. Your Amazon account could be worth tens of millions of dollars to you, you know, over the next few years. It's not worth losing that to drop ship some products. On the returns, is there a setting to check in with your seller central to make sure the returns are automatically sent back to you, or do you do this manually? We don't send returns back to us manually because the settings for, I believe, returns are unfulfillable products. So there's a lot of damaged products. So we'll do it. I have a VA that does it, of course, but I think once every couple of weeks or something we do that. So what happens is, you know, if something's damaged in the warehouse, if it's damaged during shipping, if we have all those automatically returned, excuse me, they're going to return those too, and then they're not liable for reimbursing you. So if you do automated returns, you're not going to get paid for the reimbursement. So that's why we do those manually. We look at every single one of them. You know, if it says customer damaged, you know, or any of the couple other things, mostly customer damage, those we're going to return. You know, if it says warehouse damaged, if it says, you know, any of the other things that they're liable for, then of course we don't return them, because we're either going to open a case or wait for those to be automatically reimbursed. And then they take those out of our inventory. Yeah, I'll have to find that setting. I mean, I haven't changed it in like years, but yeah, whoever wanted to see how to do that, let me see if I can find where that is real quick for you guys. And I think that's the end of the question. So if anybody has any other questions,
I get caught up after this one.
Yeah. And just give me one moment. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and shoot them into the chat, and we'll go over anything else you guys want. But I'd like to find where you change that. I can give you the link. I can just give you the link to that. I believe it's just one setting in there. Were there any other questions, Valerie? Or, yeah, please don't drop ship. Well, you can't drop ship on FBA anyway, obviously, because the products have to be there at their warehouse. But you can drop ship, and it would be merchant fulfilled.
After you do share the screenshot for setting up return, did you see that the automatic returns the screenshot? Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah, I was just looking for the place to do that.
After you do that, there's just one more about where do you or your VA look at the screen that tells them the reason for the returns, if it's a report or not.
No, it's actually unfulfillable items. When you just go to manage FBA inventory, which, I mean, I look at that page 100 times a day, so. I'll post the link to it. So this is your manage FBA inventory page. And if you go there, you just, let me go back over to that. You would just sort by unfulfillable. There's a tab at the top, price, inbound, fulfillable, unfulfillable. So you always want to be looking at that unfulfillable, because if a product gets restricted or, you know, any reason that it's unfulfillable, if you just hover over that, you're going to see the reason why. You know, warehouse damage, obviously that's Amazon's problem. They're going to reimburse you within 45 days for that. You don't want to remove that. If it's customer damage, then you want to remove that. So, yeah, so I don't look at a report for that. I look at my actual listings. Okay, so. Okay, and here we go. So I'm getting you okay, here's the link to it. But in the future, you can go to orders and then manage returns. And then on the right-hand side, there's an option for return settings. And I will post the link right here in the chat for you. It's a very simple one. And then here's where you can select and set it up however you want. Why is that not up? So see, there's default automated returns, and then you can just set it how you want. I want to authorize each return request. I want Amazon to automatically authorize all requests that meet Amazon policy. Okay. Actually, that's for the automated return. So if you're not doing FBA, then that doesn't matter. That's the new. Actually, that's not the right page. I'm sorry. This is for allowing the customer to do the returns, not to do the automated returns to you. So if you're not doing, but if you're doing anything merchant fulfilled, you definitely want to go over this page, because this is where you're going to allow the automated returns now. So that's going to automatically give people refunds the same way they do it if you're a FBA seller, where Amazon's handling it and people can do it automatically. No, it's in the settings. And that takes you to the exact same return page. Okay, default who preps, who labels, inventory placement. Here we go. So it's called repackaging settings, repackage, unsellable, customer returns. So it defaults, I believe, to enable, or you can disable it. And then you select which categories, and this is going to repackage it and just sell it again if it's available. So this is what you want to have turned off. So that's not going to make them available. And I will post that link here. So that link will take you, of course, you have to log into Seller Central. If you enable it, you'll have all those other options. If you click disable, and that's not going to repackage the unsellable customer returns. Now, I believe there was one other setting. And then there is one other setting, and what this one is for is automated unfulfillable removal settings. So that means everything unfulfillable is automatically going to be returned to you, or you can set it to dispose of them. So, you know, we obviously don't do that, because we don't want, you know, to have to pay for their mess ups. Distributor damage means it's been damaged during shipping. So we don't want to have to pay for that. This one's the distributor to change that. So obviously we don't want to have to get those products back and not be reimbursed if it's distributor damage, which is the shipper, or warehouse damaged. You know, the only thing we want back is, you know, the customer damaged, or just a regular return, so we can reinspect them and sell them again. And most of those things you're going to be able to send back in. Even the ones that are, you know, new and the packaging maybe get damaged, then you can sell it as used. Or if it's a toy, you can sell it as collectible, you know, like new or very good. You know, so most of those products are you know, are resellable. Obviously, you can't sell food products or health or beauty, you know, used, or clothing and shoes. But there's a lot of other categories that maybe you just have to go one down in the ranking to be able to still sell that on Amazon. So if there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We're already about an hour in. So, and of course, if you have anything during the week, you have any products, if you're sourcing or, you know, using tactical arbitrage, you don't know, you know, about any products, you know, send me a message. I'm always available in some capacity, or as soon as I am, I will, you know, I'll look at it, I'll evaluate it, I'll tell you, you know, yes or no if it's worth buying. You know, and you'll have an answer right away. So, you know, if you're worried you're not making a good buying decision, then, you know, go ahead and ask for help. Any other problems, you know, with the website or stuff you're looking for, you know, always send it to Valerie first. She can probably help you with that stuff faster than I can. I'm usually, you know, on mobile. You know, if you have questions you need answered, you know, I'm the guy for that. You know, if you can't find something or you need help with the training or anything like that, go to Valerie, because she'll be able to give you, you know, the actual links and, you know, all of that, where if I'm on mobile, I'm probably not going to be able to access that right away. And remember, for all the new guys, if you're not using tactical arbitrage, you should be using tactical arbitrage. Sign up. We got a free 10-day code, ta.seanmayo.com, and type in Sean Mayo for the coupon. You get a 10-day free trial. And we already have the course teaching you how to do it. And if you're already using tactical arbitrage, we do have that 25% off code. It's TA-MM. You know, for any of our sourcing lists, which you can get to the list of those. Yes, TA-MM. That's for any of our Gumroad lists, except for a couple of things. But all the tactical arbitrage category lists are available with that discount code. So you can go through and see the list right on the Mastermind site. And all the training. That site is your best friend. We put everything you guys should probably ever need to know about Amazon on there. And if not, let Valerie know, and we'll make some more training on anything you don't know. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next week.
I'll see you on the 11th.
Oh, we'll see you Wednesday. Don't forget, Wednesday, I believe that one's during the day.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll see you there with text.